Sugar's all I'm thinking of. There's something about you. You're not like all the rest. There's something about you. I love you, Pez. 'Cause when I grab your head and I pull it back, you open your mouth and you give me candy kisses. When I grab your head and I pull it back, you open your mouth and you give me candy kisses. My dentist says that you are nothing but trouble. My doctor says that you're no good. My friends, they say that you are just gonna hurt me. I don't care, let's ditch this neighborhood. 'Cause when I grab your head and I pull it back, you open your mouth and you give me candy kisses. When I grab your head and I pull it back, you open your mouth and you give me candy kisses. There's something about you. Oh, you're not like all the rest. There's something about you. I love you, Pez.
Now give me some sugar.
The Livestream Code and Rating Administration has rated this online event PG. All ages admitted. Please be kind and stay on topic.
This live stream is sponsored by Friendly TV. With over 40 channels, many of them showing your favorite classic TV shows, Friendly TV is the low-cost streaming service for those of us who remember when television was truly special. I've added a link to Friendly TV in the description section of this video. When you use it to try it out free for 7 days, you will also be supporting this channel. Welcome to the Good Stuff Live. My name is Dave Sundstrom, and if you enjoy talking about music, movies, come on, mostly TV, well, you've come to the right place. So tonight, we're talking about 1978, and I've got some things I've put together, and I'm excited to share them with you. But first, let's say hello to everybody that's been hanging out in the chat. We've got some folks that have been there for a good 15, 20 minutes at least. First to arrive was channel member Angela McArdle. Welcome, Angela. Good to have you here. A Child is here as well. Welcome. Good to have you with us. My good friend Justin Aylett, a.k.a. Braidwood Inn, is here hanging out. Channel member as well. And look at this. I was just thinking about this guy the other day. Tom McCluskey, a.k.a. the Hungry Jerk. So good to have you with us. Justin has already started talking about 1978. And yes, indeed, Three's Company was probably, in 1978, clicking on all cylinders. Season 2. And probably the best, one of the best seasons there were of that particular program. Let's see what else we got going here. Another comment from Justin says this was before the big shows of the 80s. Absolutely. Cheers, Golden Girls, Family Ties, etc. I would argue there were big shows in the 70s as well. As a matter of fact, that ABC lineup in the late 70s, hard to beat when it comes to situation comedies. Tuesday nights were phenomenal. Channel member Tracy Roth-Myers here, a.k.a. Tracy's Fractured History and More. Welcome. Good to have you with us. Ken Wilkinson, always a treat, my friend. Always a treat. Let's see who else is here. Folks are talking back and forth. And another comment from Justin worth mentioning. There's a video that I will be sharing with you guys exclusively tonight that has been shared with channel members for a little while now. And it's all about the TV shows of 1978. It's a TV time capsule. And I did mention Angie. Angie was a sitcom that when it debuted mid-season was a ratings juggernaut. And then something happened. It just kind of died down. But Donna Pescow was fantastic in that show. She starred in it with Robert Hayes. Ken Wilkinson says he was 14 in 78. Look at this. Steve Tevis, a.k.a. The Life and Sad Ending. Hello, my friend. Good to have you with us. Ken Wilkinson points out that Battlestar Galactica started in 1978. We'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. And let's see. Justin identifies 78 as Jaws 2. Was that 78? Possibly. Richie Gray's here with us. He says, the Animal House I went to, the Real House up in New Hampshire, Plymouth. I stayed there for one night just when the movie was coming out. How cool is that? Steve Tevis says 1978 was so long ago, it does not seem like yesterday. It does seem like a long time ago, and yet there are things that seem like it was just, a few weeks ago. Let's say that. Adrian James, welcome to the live stream. Good to have you with us. Matt Sweeney, channel member John Collins. Hello. Bookhen, welcome. John E. Burnett, welcome as well. So good to see so many familiar names. Sakina McMurran, welcome to the live stream. Channel member Keithy. He says it seems like yesterday, and I get that. There are things that don't seem like they were that long ago. Tracy liked the song I played. That was a song that I wrote probably 20, 25 years ago that Steve describes as a graphic, violent, sexual double entendre masterpiece. I like to think of Pez as simply a love song. Justin says, hated when the Pez got stuck vertically and jammed the dispenser. Yeah. Particularly when you're loading it. Sometimes it would load so easily, and then other times they'd get stuck vertically and you'd have to take them all out and put them back in, and then you're handling the candy, and that's not the greatest. Dodge Old School 1972, thank you for the kind words about the song. Danny State, and welcome. Hello and greetings from Kaysville, Utah, my friend. 420, welcome. Tammy Payton, welcome to the live stream tonight. And Dolph Quick, well, you should go get yourself a Pez. Treat yourself. Pez to me is the superior Smartie. Folks like Smarties. I like Pez. It just has a little bit more of a bite to it, I think. Let's see who else is here. I hope I don't skip anybody, but if I do, please forgive me. I'll hopefully catch you later on in the stream. Lamont Bradford, welcome. Yes. Now, in 1978, there were other hit series. I believe that was the first season for Dallas, which was actually, in terms of Nielsen ratings, much more popular than Different Strokes. Different Strokes ended the 1978 TV season, the one that runs through May 1979, in the number 27 position. But it was a great show, no doubt about it. Alan Thicke penned theme song, wonderful. John Collins, using his milestone chat message, says, was there ever a time when you and your brother were legitimately serious about your burgeoning music career? Because you guys are really quite good. Very kind of you to say, and no, there never was. Steve is actually the better musician. I like to think of myself more as a lyricist. Steve was the musician, and he really is quite talented on the guitar. But we were already, when we were a duo playing together, we were already firmly entrenched in our careers in the financial services world. And we recognized that that's how we were going to support our families. But it sure was fun. Let's see. Tom McCluskey says, just got out of the hospital, got mauled by 2 pit bulls last week, otherwise good. Well, it's great to have you here with us this evening, Tom, and I sure hope you get feeling better. Channel member Angela McCardle, using her milestone message, says, love this channel. Well, we love having you as part of this channel's community, Angela. Thank you so much for all your support. Van Pastor Man says, howdy, good neighbors. And A Child says, hey there, right back. Raja 1938, welcome to the live stream, says, enjoyed Angie. I didn't realize Donna Pescal was in Saturday Night Fever. Yes, until years later. You know, actually, Donna has made quite a career of roles where, you know, she is just a consummate actor / actress, however you want to describe her. And she's been in more roles than you think. But Angie sure was a special show. It was her starring vehicle. John Burnett says, Dave, SFM Holiday Network premiered in 1978 on syndication until the early 1990s. I remember that. And Danny was 13 in 1978. Tracy Rothmeyer's using her milestone message as a channel member, says, always look forward to your lives, Dave. Well, thank you so much. I always look forward to seeing you at the live streams or in the live streams, Tracy. Let's see. Justin saying that Donna purposefully gained weight for the role in Saturday Night Fever. Hey, it's Chance from the Nostalgic Podblast. Good to have you here. And my buddy Terrell Eugene Bellinger says, happy hump day. It's been a while. Yeah, it has, but it's so good to have you with us tonight. Raynard Abraham says, do you think that 1978 was the end of the variety show era? Nearing the end. When did Pink Lady and Jeff air? To me, that's kind of like, I know there were a couple hit variety shows after Pink Lady and Jeff, but for me, that was kind of like the death knell. Gary Carpenter's here. Welcome. Good to have you with us. Don Tuween says Jaws 2 was the big summer movie of that year. I also saw both Close Encounters and Star Wars as well in 1978. Yeah, Star Wars was a 77 movie, but back then, movies would play in one or two theaters in a city for a year or more. I remember Star Wars playing at the Center Theater in Salt Lake City, Utah, well past the summer of 1978. One theater. It played exclusively there. This was back before the multiplex. Let's see. Chance says, I like Jaws 2. Teb says, my mom's turning 60 this November. So she was 14 years old in 1978. Your mom and I are the same age, Teb. Thank you, A Child. I don't know how beautiful the song is, but it certainly is a fun one, and I enjoy playing it on guitar still. Chance mentions Different Strokes. Yes, that was definitely a song or a show that lots of people loved. Again, it was popular, but not that popular during its debut year. Let's see. Channel member Sean Innes says, hello, all. I thought this notification was an echo or a repeat of the other show Dave released today. What I released early this morning was the television time capsule for 1978. I wanted to give you guys all, as channel members, a preview of it. I will be playing it during the live stream tonight. Rhymes with Orange says, hello, just got here. And let's see, Adrian James says, Superman, the movie came out in 78, but I saw it in early 79. That's because it came out in late 78. I remember, wasn't it around the holiday season? Or am I remembering wrong? Was it a summertime movie? Maybe it was. Let's see. A Child likes Pez, as does 420. Let's see. Sean says, or channel member Sean Innes says, Pez Central, Orange, Connecticut, used to drive by it all the time. Very cool. R. McKnight, are you only discussing ABC shows? I watched all the networks. As far as ABC, I watched Fantasy Island, Battlestar Galactica. No, we will talk about lots of shows, but let's be clear. ABC was the ratings juggernaut in 1978. More on that in just a bit. So why don't we talk a little bit, and I'll get to the comments here again in just a second, but a little bit about what we're going to do tonight. I do have a TV time capsule about the television landscape in 1978 and some of my memories, and I'll share that in a bit. Before that, we'll talk a little bit about 1978 in general, some of my favorite pieces of music, singles, and then additionally some of the movies that are out, as well as we'll talk about what things cost. I always enjoy looking back and seeing what, like the cost of a gallon of milk or how much people were making on average, that kind of thing. So we'll look at that we'll do that first before we get to the time capsule. We'll watch some vintage commercials from 1978, and we're going to cap off the evening by playing a little bit of mini trivia. Just 5 questions about the top television show in 1978. I'm not going to say what the top TV show was right now. You can guess if you want, but we will play a little bit of mini trivia right at the very end. All right. Let's see. Rhymes with Orange says, Pez is fun to give out at Christmas. It's fun to give out any time of the year. I'm a huge, huge fan. Let's see. Mork and Mindy came out in 78. Thank you, Blotchu Bear, and welcome to the live stream. TJ921 Abel hanging out with us tonight says 1978 was a great year. Indeed it was. Facts of Life was the 70s, late 70s, I think 79. Raja 1938 says, I wasn't much for soap operas, but I was such a fan of Man from Atlantis, as was I. Mr. Schubert was a great villain. Just had to tune in to watch Dallas. Braidwood Inn, a.k.a. Justin Aylett, says, Alan Thicke was a good singer, but he married an incredible singer. He sure did. What was her name? Should remember that, but I don't. Facts of Life was 79, confirms TJ921 Abel. Lamont Bradford says, ABC screwed up in 1979, messing up with the hit shows that were hits by moving the shows to different times and nights and lost half of their audiences. Well, that could explain what happened a little bit with Angie. Blotchy Bear says 1978 was a heck of an amazing year, music, movies, TV, sports wise. I have a lot of fond memories of that year. And Chance says Corvette Summer. Just watched that movie not too long ago. I liked it. I think I liked it more when I was 14. Let's see. Grease came out in 1978. It sure did. Love that movie. Gary Carpenter was 11 that year. 420 says, who likes Grease 2? This guy here does. Chance says Corvette Summer, Mark Hamill, Annie Potts, and Danny Bonaducci. Yes, Danny Bonaducci. I noticed him at the end of the movie. Is he anywhere else in that movie? Adrian remembers Grease coming out. Tom says 78, the first year of high school. Let's see. Terrell says famous births in 1978. Kobe Bryant, Ashton Kutcher, Usher, James Franco, Rachel McAdams, Kenan Thompson. I love Kenan. Joshua Jackson, Zoe Saldana, Topher Grace, Andy Samberg, another funny guy, and Kel Mitchell. Kenan and Kel, huh? The same year, though. That makes sense, I guess. Sean Innes, channel member Sean Innes, using his milestone message, says, laugh out loud. Tracy beat me to it. I always forget. This points at Dave and mouths the words. It's his fault. One live a month. All right. Let's see. Blotchy Bear says, totally agree with you, Lamont. Mork and Mindy was great on Thursday nights and then switched to Sunday nights. CBS ran Sunday nights. That was a big screw up by ABC. Channel member Keith E., using his milestone message, says you're missing out on the fun of becoming a member. You know what? I've kind of blown this. I want to go back and I want to highlight how long each of these folks have been members. Keith E. has been a channel member, a supporting member of this channel for 17 months. Thank you, sir. Sean Innes, 18 months. That's just, a year and a half you've been supporting this channel. I just appreciate it so much. Tracy Roth Myers, 30 months, 2.5 years you've been a supporting channel member. Thank you. Angela McArdle, 13 months, more than a year since Angela has become a supporting channel member. And the granddaddy of all supporting channel members, right here, Mr. John Collins, 31 months. God bless you all. You are great people. And, I love everybody. I love this community, all of you so much. And I appreciate what you bring to the table in terms of just the contribution and your level of engagement. But, these supporting channel members, they are truly something special. Okay, let's keep rolling. Yes, this is the variety show that I was thinking about in terms of like the last of the big variety shows that I remember. Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell Sisters came on in 1980, and it was good. Yeah, that's why I kind of blame Pink Lady more than I do. I think Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell Sisters, which aired on NBC, by the way, was an exception to the rule. Other than that, they just weren't successful in terms of ratings, and we saw them die off quite quickly once the 80s rolled around. Channel member Angela McArdle says, had an MRI today on my right wrist. Listen to some awesome 70s music. That's, no better way to, when you're in a stressful situation, music has a way of just soothing the soul. That and a double cheeseburger from McDonald's. But, that one's also has a way of adding to the poundage. So music's good because you don't gain weight listening to music. TJ921 Abel says the movie Grease came out in 78. Sure did. Okay, I'm going to stop right here for a minute. And what I want to do is I tease that we're going to talk a little bit about what things cost during 1978. Let me go ahead and get my slide up. Here it is. Okay, here we go. 1978. Annual income in the United States was $17,000. And you know what? $17,000 is probably pretty decent wage because you could pick up a new home for $54.7. A gallon of gas just cost you 63 pennies, and a gallon of milk was $1.79. Movie tickets, $2.50. That's what it costs you to go see Star Wars or Close Encounters or Grease. Postage stamp was a mere 15 pennies. Popular music, songs I remember. The Bee Gees' Stayin' Alive soundtrack was so big. And of course, the song. Kansas's Dust in the Wind. I just love the musicianship of that song. Andy Gibb was, he was just a juggernaut, right? A shooting star, if you will, with Shadow Dancing and the hits that followed. And what a great song the Village People's YMCA was. So much fun. Queen's We Will Rock You was fantastic. And Billy Joel, Just the Way You Are. Popular movies that really made an impression on me were Superman, Grease, Burt Reynolds, and Hooper. I loved Heaven Can Wait, The Deer Hunter, and Every Which Way But Loose. And there were many other films as well in 1978, but those are just a few that immediately come to mind. All right, let me get back to comments here real quick. Did I say Saturday Night Live? I meant Saturday Night Fever. Tom McCluskey says, I was a drummer and played at San Quentin. How cool is that? That's awesome. I didn't know San Quentin had that many performances, but maybe one of these days you'll have to tell me more about that. John Burnett said that Fish ended in 78, and then they put it on in reruns on the fall of 78 in syndication. Matt Sweeney says, Dave, off topic a little. Did you happen to catch Ron Howard on GMA and Kelly and Mark today plugging his movie about Jim Henson that will be on Disney Plus? I did not. But I've seen that teased on Disney Plus, and I'm excited to watch it. Huge Ron Howard fan, and also loved the Muppets when I was growing up. I do not, Bookhan, remember a daytime talk show called Every Day. Yeah, WKRP was on in 78, going strong. Raja 1938 points out that Alan Thicke wrote the theme for Different Strokes. He co-wrote it, if I remember correctly. Euler Greg says WKRP, Battlestar Galactica, and Black Sheep Squadron were my favorites in 78. And TJ921 Abel points out that SNL premiered in 75. And 03, welcome to the live stream, says that's back when they used to play cartoons before the main showing. The good old days. Keith H says I was 17, had a Camaro, and life was good. Sounds pretty good. Sounds darn good, Keith H. Gary Carpenter says Mork and Mindy started that year. Newhart Show ends. The Bob Newhart Show ended, right? Adrian James says love Battlestar Galactica. TJ921 Abel talks about WKRP, saying it was great. Indeed, it was. Channel member Angela McArdle was 4 in 1978. So the 78 shows are ones that she caught in syndication. Yes, I thought Superman came out as a Christmas time release. I remember that very, very well. So excited for that movie. I don't think I got to see it until January or February. But again, that was back when it was on at one theater, one screen in the Salt Lake City Valley, and it played there for months and months and months. It was the Villa Theater. It was a huge, huge curved screen. Such a memorable movie-going experience. Yes, 420, Mork and Mindy was a huge hit in 78. And Gary Carpenter points out that Chico and the Man ended. Hey, channel member Carlos Cejas here. Welcome. So good to have you with us during this live stream. Chance says Sunday, September 17th, 1978 was when Battlestar Galactica hit. And oh, what a night that was. Let's see. Channel member Tracy Rothmeyer says, any news show new in 1978? I don't remember news shows being new. Now, 60 Minutes, again, was near the top of the ratings. It was right after the top 5. It was the next show. But I don't remember any new news shows at that time. There was, I think, Real People and Those Amazing Animals. Those kind of shows were making, kind of becoming very popular on prime time for the networks back in the late 70s. Laura Smith, welcome to the live stream, says Battlestar Galactica, ! And not the crime against humanity that was Galactic 80. Totally agree with you. What in the world? The only episode of Battlestar Galactica or Galactica 1980 that I really like is a later episode called The Return of Starbuck, which was a lot of fun. Channel member Carlos says the holiday special, the Star Wars holiday special. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. Tom McCluskey points out the Pink Lady and Jeff was a Croft production. Indeed it was. Indeed it was. And TG921 Abel, you are correct. 1978 was when Laverne and Shirley hit number one. As a matter of fact, I'm going to stop right there and we're going to play the television time capsule. And then we'll come back and read a few more comments because we're starting to talk about TV shows of the 70s or 78 and what we've been doing the whole time. But let me go ahead and play the video as I think this just feels like the right time. Let me go ahead and get that queued up. And I'll be right back in just a few minutes, folks. Today, we are taking a trip back in time to 1978, a year that brought us disco music, platform shoes, and some truly wonderful entertainment. Grease was dominating the box office, Blondie was topping the charts, and the first ever cellular phone call was made. But what were people watching on their TVs? Coming in at number one in the Nielsen ratings that year was Laverne and Shirley, a spin-off from Happy Days. This sitcom starring Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams focused on two single women working in a Milwaukee brewery. Laverne and Shirley was full of unique and fun characters, hilarious situations, and most importantly, a whole lot of heart. Number two that year was Three's Company. This wacky sitcom about three roommates, two women, and a guy pretending to be gay pushed boundaries and kept audiences in stitches. In the number three spot was Morgan Mindy. This sci-fi sitcom gave us Robin Williams as an alien from Ork. It was a show full of wacky humor and heartwarming moments. And did I mention that it was another spin-off from Happy Days? Speaking of that show, it was still going strong in 1978 and was number 4 in the Nielsen ratings. This nostalgic sitcom about a group of teenagers in the 1950s offered up what Gary Marshall did best with all of his sitcoms: lighthearted fun and occasional moments that just tugged at your heart. And of course, the cast of that show, led by Ron Howard and Henry Winkler, well, they were truly something special. Bit of a surprise for me is the number 5 show for the year, Angie. Technically, this show was actually tied for number 4 with Happy Days during the 1978 TV season, but since that show ultimately lasted much longer than this one, we're giving it the higher position. Believe it or not, all of the top 5 shows during that television season were on ABC. I guess it's also important to mention that while Angie was part of the 1978 TV season, it didn't actually premiere until early 79 because it was a mid-season replacement program. Regardless, it was truly a golden moment for the network. ABC, they just seemed to be clicking on all cylinders. And Angie, which starred Donna Pescow and Robert Hayes, well, it was a great show. I don't know why it didn't last longer, just 2 seasons. The leads were charming, and the supporting cast who played Angie's family, they were a hoot. And let's not forget some of the other notable shows that were popular in 1978. Little House on the Prairie, Dallas, Battlestar Galactica, The Incredible Hulk. Not as popular, but a show that I really loved was the TV adaptation of Logan's Run, starring Gregory Harrison, Heather Menzies, and Donald Moffat. I really wanted to see this show do well, but alas, audiences did not flock to it, and it only lasted 1 season. While not a regular series, 1978 also brought us the Star Wars Holiday Special. This one-time television special featured the original cast and introduced us to Chewbacca's family and the Wookiee holiday Life Day. It was a bizarre and campy special that included weird comedy bits by Art Carney, Harvey Korman, and Golden Girl B. Arthur. Not to mention a post-facial surgery Mark Hamill, looking a bit like Luke Skywalker, but not quite. As much as George Lucas would like everyone to forget this thing, it's a valuable piece of Star Wars history to be cherished and celebrated even with its many, many flaws. And speaking about wanting to forget something, there was a long period of time where Kiss wanted nothing to do with their 1978 television movie. These days, however, they embrace the wackiness of this Hanna-Barbera production that is a must-watch for any member of the Kiss Army. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot to mention that 1978 was the year that 7 wacky castaways were finally rescued. Yep, no doubt about it, 1978 was a fantastic year for television. From laugh-out-loud comedies to heartwarming dramas to science fiction epic adventures, there truly was something for everyone. And I can't think of a better way to cap off this presentation than by turning over the rest of the time here to the lovely Carrie Fisher. So sing us out of here, dear princess, and may we never forget what Life Day is all about.
We celebrate a day of peace, a day of harmony, a day of joy we all can share together joyously, a day that takes us through the darkness, a day that leads us into light, a day that makes us want to celebrate the night, a day that brings the promise that one day we'll be free to live, to laugh, to dream, to grow, to trust, to
Yes! What an amazing song! You know, I think even way back then, when I watched the Star Wars Holiday Special, I realized that it was not good. But I've said this before, and I truly do mean this. I can enjoy certain types of not good. And that Holiday Special was one of those shows that I really, really enjoyed. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the TV time capsule. It is available. That video has been available for channel members to watch for a while now. I'll make it available for all to watch again. You can watch it on live stream, but it'll be available as a standalone video probably tomorrow at some point. I think I'll publish it for everyone to watch. So I've got way too many comments for me to read. I'm going to just kind of scroll through and get select comments, and I apologize if I miss yours. Channel member Sean Innes says Superman was released on December 15th, 1978. Correct. Channel member John Collins says, Dave, thank you for your Memorial Day presentation. Another channel member only video. You know, folks, channel membership is $2 a month. I know times are tight. I know they're tight. But it's a great way to support this channel. And I do provide a ton of exclusive content for my channel members, those folks that support me in a very special way. Anyway, John says, thank you for your Memorial Day presentation. I hope as we quietly discussed it, it will open up a new occasional burst of creativity for you. I enjoy everything you do. Please share his presentations. Oh, he's asking folks to share my presentations on Facebook, Twitter, whatever your social media channel is that you like to use. I certainly would appreciate it if you share my presentations as well. And thank you for encouraging that, John, and for all your support. All right. Carlos Ceja says Taxi, another great show that was on in 1978. Van Pasterman says, I thought the Pez song reminded me of Weezer. It's no surprise I'm a big Weezer fan. O3 says Dukes of Hazzard. Nope, did not debut until 79, I think. Let's see. RST Yeats 73 says, I was only 5 years old in 78. I know the shows I remember seeing were Battlestar Galactica, Chips, WKRP, Mork and Mindy, and Different Strokes. All great shows, right? All great shows. Gloria Loring was the name of Alan Thicke's wife. Thank you so much for that assist. Raja 1938. Yep. Channel member Carlos Ceja says Different Strokes premiered. And channel member Sean Innes on the video, the television time capsule video that will be published for all to see tomorrow, commented that Steve Martin released his Wild and Crazy Guy album. Yeah, what a great album that is. And channel member Tracy Roth-Myers asked if I'm still in love with the theme song from Angie. I sure am. Great song. I can hear it in my head right now. It's that kind of earworm. 66 Kimball points out that Meatloaf was huge back then. Sure was. Bad Out of Hell was burning up the charts and really never left the charts for quite some time. Channel member Tracy Roth-Myers says that she loved the theme from Angie. It was a great song. It sure was. Let's see. Tom McCluskey points out that Bad Out of Hell was the 4th largest selling album of all time. I'm a huge Meatloaf fan. Love the guy. Seen him live a couple of times. Let's see. Yes, channel member Sean Innes points out that he's actually been a channel member longer than his numbers point out. And that's true for almost everybody because they were supporting me over on Patreon before I moved the channel membership over to YouTube. Channel member Justin Aylett says a lot of best-selling albums were released a year before in 77. That was a great year for music. So true. Let's see. And channel member Carlos Ceja says that the Superman movie came out. And Justin Aylett, channel member Justin Aylett, says Journey's 1978 album was great. It was everything that Journey does. I think many of you know I'm a huge Steve Perry fan, but I'm a huge fan of Journey the band as well. Fruit of the Tomb says, I've been subscribed for about a week and really like the content. I'm sure glad you do, but didn't Carpenter's Halloween come out in 78? It may have. It may have, because I think Halloween 2 came out in 80, if I remember correctly. And Sakina McMurrin points out that Star Trek, the movie, came out in 78. Yeah, TJ921 Abel points out the Different Strokes was originally on NBC, but then changed to ABC. That's correct. The final season of Different Strokes was on ABC. Let's see. Channel member Carlos Ceja says, in 1978, I paid 75 cents for a movie at a second-run theater. Yeah, I remember paying 75 cents as well. We had the Queen Theater here in Bountiful, Utah, and then the Sandcastle Theater. I remember going to see the Battlestar Galactica feature film. It was $1, I think, back then, and leaving my Mattel handheld basketball game there and losing it. Oh, that was frustrating. Channel member Justin Aylett says, I was at the Dollar Theater a lot. Even in 2006, it was still only $2 on certain days. Those were the times. But you know what? Life's pretty good now. We can, if you're watching a movie with a family, you can purchase. I just bought The Fall Guy, which came out, 4 weeks ago? And I paid, I think, $25, but I think I've had 7 or 8 family members watch that movie now, and that's a heck of a deal, given that it's still playing in first-run theaters. By the way, The Fall Guy is a great movie. It hasn't done it as well at the box office as I think they were hoping, but it is a wonderfully fun movie, old-fashioned movie. Just really good. Can't recommend it enough. The 80s Cave says, I saw Beyond and Back in 1978. I remember that movie. All I remember are snakes. Hooper, I saw at the Olympic Theater. And Tuck Graff points out that The Deer Hunter was a great movie. Never see it in reruns. Yeah, they don't play it much anymore. Let's see what else we've got here. I'm going to keep going. Trying to get caught up here. I'm not going to get caught up. That's it. Channel member Carlos Ceja says Superman the movie, in my opinion, is my favorite superhero film. It's certainly one of the best in my mind. It's quite iconic. And channel member Zuperplex, I don't think I've said hello to you. Welcome, Zuper. Good to have you with us. Points out that soap started in 78. Yep. Little Billy Crystal action. As a matter of fact, we're going to watch Billy Crystal here in one of the vintage commercials in just a second. Let me read a couple more comments and then we'll watch those commercials. Channel member Carlos Ceja says Gene Hackman played the best superhero movie villain. How I hated him. Yes. And channel member Angela McArdle says, I remember the Muppet Show, but I think that premiered before 78. It did. It did indeed. Let's see. Oh, channel member Tracy Rothmeyers points out that 2020 aired in 78. But was it new in 78? It might have been. That's Hugh Downs and Barbara Walters, I think, were the original hosts. Channel member Carlos Ceja says, I was in 6th grade in 1978. I remember hearing a lot of kids at school saying Nanu Nanu. I was one of those nerdy kids. Yes, channel member Sean Innes points out that Deborah Lee Scott was in Angie. Yeah, she was great. And the Love Boat was flying high, as points out Carlos Ceja, channel member Carlos Ceja. Continuing to scroll through, getting caught up. Maybe. Channel member Angela McArdle says Carrie Fisher had a beautiful singing voice. Channel member Sean Innes says, oh, he's dissing my love for Lawrence Welk music. I love Lawrence Welk. Channel member Justin Aylett says that Peter Criss and Gene Simmons are awful actors. They were all horrible in that movie. And you're right. Gene really had aspirations to be an actor, to have a second career as an actor, and he's not good. But I think the worst of all of the actors in Kiss Meets the Phantom is Ace Frehley. I think his one line, or he didn't have many lines, but he kept saying, ack, ack. Channel member Zuperplex says, love to stick the Star Wars holiday special into Harrison Ford's ribs. And channel member Angela McArdle's never watched that holiday special. It's here on YouTube. You should watch it one of these days. It's interesting, and you can always skip through the stuff you don't like. Channel member Tracy Rothmeyer says Carrie Fisher could sing. And channel member Justin Aylett says Gene wanted to go Hollywood and Peter had enough of Paul, I think. Yeah, they just couldn't get along. Channel member Zuperplex says Miss Network Television. Let's see. Channel member Carlos Ceja says ABC in 1978 aired The Poseidon Adventure. That was a great movie. Channel member Angela McArdle says, glad I never heard of that holiday special till 3 years ago. TJ921 Abel says, I have the theme from Angie on a CD from a long time ago that has a lot of TV hits. It's a good song. Yeah, Steve, we've talked a bit about Corvette Summer, Mark Hamill, Annie Potts, and Danny Bottaducci. And Don Tuween says, did anyone see Piranha in 78? It was one of the better Jaws-influenced movies. That was directed by the guy that did Gremlins. What's his name? Joe Dante, I believe. I believe Joe Dante was the director of Piranha before he moved up to the big budget films. Tom McCluskey says, worked at a movie theater in town in 78. Got to keep all the movie posters. Oh, you lucky duck. Hey, Bigelow65, good to have you here. Channel member John Collins says, who knew that Carrie Fisher could sing almost opera? And channel member Carlos Ceja says, Halloween came out in 78, and in 79, the Star Trek movie came out. Halloween 2 came out in the fall of 81. Okay, so 3 years later. Oh, you're going to like it, Tammy. Great music in the movie. Wonderful. Just it's one of those movies where it's fun, right? And it's old-fashioned. It feels like a movie that you could have come out 5-10 years ago. Nostalgic Podbless says the Fall Guy movie had zero sex appeal and very little comedy, unlike the original series. Totally disagree with you, Chance, but that's what I love about movies, right? We can watch the same movie and see or have a different experience, right? You do point out in your comment that you thought it was a good movie, but it should have been a remake of The Stuntman. I thought the two lead actors, Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, were great together, had tremendous chemistry, and I laughed throughout the entire movie. So we saw a different film, but that's what makes movies so darn magical. Channel member Zuperplex says lots of free movies if you can afford internet access. Even My Left Foot, this month's movie review for the members only live stream. Yes, sir. That's what makes the internet such a marvelous thing. Oh, folks saying hello. Channel member Sean Innes says, is it something in the water in Utah? My grandfather loved Welk, but that was how I was introduced to it. PTSD also comes into mind. Maybe it is Utah. And Karen Lee has my back. She likes Welk as well. Good to have you here. Colt 49er says, Dave, read my last comment. I'm sorry, I missed it, and I can't scroll back right now to find it. My apologies to you, my friend. Channel member Carlos Ceja says, R.I.P. Roger Corman. Yeah, what a great film producer that guy was. He could make fantastic epic movies out of dollars. All right, hey, let's stop there for a minute and let's go ahead and watch some vintage commercials. We'll come back and we will play Laverne and Shirley mini trivia. 5 questions full of fun. I see a super chat coming in from John Collins. We'll get to that right after these messages.
And now this message.
Peter Frampton, the Bee Gees, Kiss, Linda Ronstadt. You'll find them all in one exciting weekly magazine, Circus. Every week, Circus Magazine reveals the truth about the incredible rock and roll scene.
I'm Jerry Rothberg, editor of Circus Magazine, and I want you to read the toughest, timeliest, gutsiest magazine around.
Read Circus for in-depth reporting about the new drug laws, the facts about birth control, and how to buy stereo equipment. Circus Magazine in color now at your newsstand every week. Pick up your copy today.
Kurt Russell, as a campus scientist, makes an amazing discovery.
Invisible.
Disney's Now You See 'Em, Now You Don't. Sunday at 7, 6 Central and Mountain on NBC. Bob Hope salutes the World Series with special guests Danny Kaye, Glenn Campbell, Steve Martin, The Muppets, Cheryl Teague, and more. Catch it Sunday.
Hey, I want to return these shirts.
Now?
Yeah, they're all covered with specks.
Those aren't specks. They're Certs flavor crystals. Try one. And Certs gives you 30-minute breath protection. I mean, the candy may be gone in 5 minutes, but Certs with Redson keeps on freshening your breath even after 30 minutes.
I'll put another log on the fire.
Certs with flavor crystals keeps on working even after 30 minutes.
Nancy Walker's God. Out to destroy Las Vegas.
Fogs, boils, pestilence, anything you got to stop.
Billy Crystal's the avenging angel whose human feelings get in the way.
Why don't we go on up to my suite and get a little more comfortable?
Billy Crystal in the world premiere comedy Human Feelings, Monday at 9:30, 8:30 Central and Mountain on NBC.
Bubblicious. It's the ultimate bubble. Bubblicious. It's the ultimate bubble. Soft and juicy. It's the ultimate bubble. So delicious. It's the ultimate bubble. It's the ultimate bubble. Bubblicious. The ultimate bubble. Bubblicious. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dynamite.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dynamint! In just 6 seconds, Dynamints with cooling menthol starts making your breath feel kissing fresh.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dynamite!
Dynamints with cooling menthol starts freshening breath in 6 seconds.
Give me a smile with everything on it, and I'll pass it on.
So give me a Coke when you smile, and I promise to pass it along. I'm gonna pass it along. The world needs a break when it's tired and thirsty. Coke and a smile is how it should be.
Shifts stake out a neighborhood and find that trouble comes in small packages.
Hey, slow down and stop! I can't!
Then, all your favorites are back in a brand new movie.
They're at sea. Maybe we can be rescued.
Rescue from Gilligan's Island. Bob Denver and members of the original Gilligan cast. Saturday on NBC.
The Friendly TV streaming service recently added MeTV to their channel lineup. They didn't stop there. They've also got Heroes and Icons, better known as H&I. Right now, Friendly TV has 9 channels that are dedicated to playing classic TV shows and movies 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you know what? There's more on the way. The really cool thing is that between all of these channels, it's pretty darn easy to find most of the TV shows that we all loved when we were growing up. You know, Friendly TV recently added MeTV Plus, and I suspect next month, when MeTV Tunes debuts, that we will see very shortly after that Friendly adding that to the lineup as well. I don't know that for certain, but I suspect that that will be part of the Friendly television lineup. I'm really looking forward to MeTV Tunes. From what I understand, it's going to feel a lot like the old Boomerang streaming network from years past. So lots of stuff from the 60s, 70s, even earlier, and then even some more recent shows from the 90s and early 2000s. So should be a lot of fun. But right now you can get MeTV, MeTV Plus, catchy comedy, Heroes and Icons. So many great nostalgic TV channels available on Friendly TV for just a handful of dollars each month. And it is a great way to support the channel if you try it out free for 7 days. Link in the description section. All right, let me get here and get to that super chat from John Collins. John says, everybody become members of Dave's channels. Just consider it. It's the best value cable channel you will ever support. You are too kind, John. It is not a heck of a lot of money. $2 a month for exclusive access to videos, exclusive live streams. You see the videos that everybody else sees ahead of time. Getting some lens flare tonight. Holy cow. Wish I could adjust that, but I can't right now. And we have Laverne and Shirley mini trivia to get to, but I do want to say thank you to John Collins in the very unique way that we always do on this channel. And I put together a new thank you clip today. So this is the first time I've played it. Just for you, my friend. Here we go. Enjoy.
Oh, mighty ice.
Thanks for your support, John. That super chat truly is appreciated. All right, at this point, I am only going to read super chats or milestone messages, but I will read scores when we get to scores. So we're going to start the trivia, the quiz, and then after the third question, I'll get scores, and then I'll get final scores again after the fifth question. So let's get rocking and rolling here. Let me go ahead and pull up the quiz. There we go. And let's get started. Laverne and Shirley quiz. Question number 1. We're going to do these relatively rapid fire. What TV show did Laverne and Shirley spin off from? Was it The Odd Couple, Happy Days, Mork and Mindy, or Love American Style? The timer is running. 30 seconds. What TV show did Laverne and Shirley spin off from? The Odd Couple, Happy Days, Mork and Mindy, or Love American Style? One thing that all of these shows have in common was they were Gary Marshall produced television shows. I really was a big fan of Gary Marshall. His influence on the TV sitcom, particularly in the 70s, is undeniable. And the correct answer is Happy Days. Yep. We first met Shirley Feeney, Laverne Despacio on Happy Days. Girlfriend, or went out with the Fonz, I believe. Next question. What city was Laverne and Shirley originally set in? Is it Chicago, Milwaukee, or New York, Milwaukee, or Los Angeles? Again, what city was Laverne and Shirley originally set in? Chicago, New York, Milwaukee, or Los Angeles? Let me take a quick swig here. And timer is up. Correct answer is, of course, the same as Happy Days, Milwaukee. Question number 3. Besides being a dancer, what other profession does the big ragu, Carmine, have? Is it boxer, taxi driver, author, or astronaut? Starting up the timer. Again, the question is, besides being a dancer, we all know that he wanted to be a dancer. What other profession does Carmine have? Was it boxer, taxi driver, author, or astronaut? I feel like these first 3 questions have been fairly simple. I do have, and one that you're going to have to think about coming up here after we get scores. Correct answer for this one is boxer. Before we get to question 4, I'm going to switch back over to all of the comments and start to get scores from everybody. Got to scroll down. So much going on. So much going on. You guys are great. I'm not even to, oh man. I love this level of engagement. So great. Okay, here's scores. Dave Thomas, 2 of 5. TJ 921 Abel, 3 of 3. So that, Dave, you would be 2 of 3 right now. I see what you're saying, though. Channel member Angela McCardle, 3 of 3. Tammy Patton, 3 of 3. Ken Wilkinson, 3 of 3. Yeah, I thought these questions might be doable, not easy necessarily, but doable. Channel member Sean Innes, 2 of 3. Dolph Quick, 3 of 3. Channel member Superplex, 2 of 3. Yeah, Dave Thomas says 2 of 3. 420, 420, 2 of 3. RST Yeast 73, 3 out of 3. Nicely done. 3 out of 3 for Sakina McMurrin. Keith, I can't even figure that one out, my friend. Terrell Eugene Bellinger says 3 of 3. Bigelow.65's 2 of 3. Sigmund hasn't got any correct yet, but he's Sigmund. He's Sigmund of the Ooze. And you know what? Thanks for playing, Sigmund. I love you and your sea monster goodness. Channel member John Collins is 3 out of 3. Became a super friend. He deserves a few extra bucks because, remember, YouTube takes a percentage too. Percentage too big in my opinion. Well, you know what? I don't take anything away from YouTube. They provide this platform, and because of this platform, we have this wonderful community. So there we go. Lamont Bradford, 3 out of 3. And Music Girl, Ms. Elizabeth is here. Channel member Ms. Elizabeth says, Yippee Skippy, 3 out of 3. Gary Carpenter's 3 out of 3. Karen Lee is 3 out of 3. BK Justice is 3 out of 3. Dan Dog is 3 out of 3. I think we're caught up. All right, let's do these final 2 questions. Which 2 characters had diminished roles at the end of the show's run? So was it Laverne and Lenny, Shirley and Lenny, Laverne and Squiggy, or Shirley and Squiggy? Timer engaged. Again, the question is, which 2 characters had diminished roles at the end of the show's run? So as this series went on, final season, which characters showed up less for a couple of different reasons? Was it Laverne and Lenny, Shirley and Lenny, Laverne and Squiggy, or Shirley and Squiggy? This is the one where you really have to kind of think through this. I'm going to turn off the timer here because the correct answer is Shirley and Lenny. Cindy Williams was having a contract dispute with the network. She was also struggling to get along with Penny Marshall for some reason. And Lenny, played by Michael McKean, was riding high on a little mockumentary feature film called This Is Spinal Tap. And because of that, both of those characters were seen much less during the final season of the show. Last question, question 5 out of 5. What branch of the military did Laverne and Shirley join in their Saturday morning cartoon? Was it the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, or the Marines? Timer engaged. Again, I will read the question. How many of you saw this cartoon, by the way? I remember it very well. This one, along with the Fonz and the Happy Days gang, and then the Dukes of Hazzard cartoon that aired a year or so later, a couple years later, actually. What branch of the military did Laverne and Shirley join in their cartoon? Was it Army, Army, Air Force, Navy, or Marines? Having a hard time talking. It's this lens flare on my camera. I don't like it at all. Correct answer is Army, yes. Laverne and Shirley joined the Army in the cartoon. Now, they joined the Army Reserve in the actual TV show, I think around the 5th season. All right. How did you do? I want to get some scores from everybody. Let me go ahead and take this off the screen. But, hey, if you're playing this in replay, let me know your score in the comments section. Channel member Angela McArdle says 5 out of 5. Woohoo! Keith Risk, where are you? You said, I am a failure. You are not. If you hung out with us, played, and just had fun, regardless of your score, you are not a failure. Ken Wilkinson was 3 of 5. Dolph Quick, 5 of 5. Sakina McMurrin, 5 of 5. Vox Clementis says, I'm turning this up to 11, in reference to Michael McKean there. Channel member Superplex was 3 for 5. Tammy Patton, 5 of 5. 420, 3 of 5. BK Justice, 4 of 5. Yes, Ron Palillo was the pig in that cartoon. Channel member Keith E got 5.1 out of 5. Nicely done. Dave Thomas, 2 out of 5. RSTE 73, 5 out of 5. Christy DNL, 4 out of 5. And Ms. Elizabeth, channel member Ms. Elizabeth, Hot Diggity, 5 out of 5 for me today. TJ921 Abel, 5 of 5. Gary Carpenter, 4 of 5. Karen Lee, 3 of 5. Teb, 5 of 5. Channel member Sean Innes, 3 of 5. Lamont Bradford, 4 of 5. Media Archive Mike, 4 of 5. Let's see. Channel member Superplex says Dave has a better setup than T-Pons, better visual acuity. I try, but I don't want to take anything away from our buddy Thrash Pondo, who is just like, you know what? It's the charm of Thrash is he tries to read every single comment. He's just like a big teddy bear having a live stream. He's wonderful. Not going to take anything away from that guy. David Gray, 4 out of 5. Channel member John Collins, 4 out of 5. When is the Jim Henson documentary premiering? Soon. I don't remember the date. Channel member Justin Ayla says T-Pons is writing impossible trivia right now. From the song Right Now, at least the music video Right Now, Van Halen. I love that. That is so funny. Bigelow 0.65 says 3.5 out of 5. I was half right on question 4. There you go. Give yourself half a point. And I think Tom McCluskey, 4 out of 5. Awesome. If there's any more scores trickling in, I'll make sure to put them up on the screen. But we have passed the hour mark, which was my goal. I like to keep my live streams lean and mean. I'm going to make sure I don't have any more super chats to address. I do not. No more milestone messages. Folks, how can you support the channel? Well, obviously channel membership's one way. Clicking on that link in the comment or in the description section of the video and trying out Friendly TV for 7 days for free is another way. You know what? Another way is giving this video a thumbs up, this live stream a thumbs up. Another way is being engaged, as you have been in the chat tonight and in the comment section of this live stream afterwards. So thank you all for what you do. You're all wonderful. I am truly blessed to have you all as part of my YouTube community. As always, I'm going to have Fred Rogers take us out of here. Have a wonderful remainder of the week, and we'll talk to you all very, very soon. Take care, everybody.
You are special.